Anyway, let's jump in game.
Let's do it.
We can make our predictions there. Since obviously we are going to make predictions as we always do. Ben, I thought oops, sorry guys, let me turn on the game sounds for you. Well, last game I thought I went for the safe pick as well, but I'm gonna go for it once more. I have faith in my European brother. MaNa used to be known for having a very weak PvZ, but he worked so hard on it for a long time, and it really looks so much better nowadays. So I think MaNa's gonna take it.
He played one of the best PvZs I've ever seen against Stefano at Assembly. Still lost, but it was incredibly epic. It was like a 48-minute macro game, and it's about as close as I've seen any non-Korean Protoss to beating Stefano in recent memory, just quite frankly. You know, I talked to him a lot at that tournament, watched him practice a lot of PvZ, and he looks damn good. It was also the first time I saw him use the range upgrade on Phoenixes. Afterwards, he turned around promptly and said, "That upgrade sucks."
MaNa is so cool, man. Comes out of the StarCraft 2 family. His brother plays a lot of StarCraft as well. Used to be on Team Fnatic. Funky is his nickname for the Europeans who are watching this ungodly hour, probably. A very good Terran player, and he's also a breakdancer, so he can stand on his head and spin around circles. It's very impressive.
We should invite him for a show match just for that.
Wow, maybe we can have Funky versus MaNa.
Oh, brotherly love. I think Poland would like that one.
Yeah, Poland would love that.
Hey, shout out to Poland. If anybody is watching from Poland, you guys have one of the most enthusiastic, passionate groups of StarCraft fans in the world.
Yeah, I agree. Someone came up to me, like I was recently at IPO, and they had a very cool crowd as well. And then one of the fans came up to me, he's like, "Hey man, don't you think American fans are the best fans in the world?"
Nope.
I said, well, they are really good. I mean, there was an awesome atmosphere. Ooh, MaNa missing the pylon over here. The hatch, that's a little bit sloppy by MaNa. I said, well, these fans are awesome, but I said, I've been to a lot of tournaments, so it's hard to say that this is the best in the world. He's like, what other thing do you really remember that stands out? And I said, well, the European Blizzard Invitational in Poland. I said, that was insane. The way that they were like cheering the other guys up, and that Red wasn't coming out until they like shouted his name loud enough. 1,000 people or something standing up, clapping, Red.
It was awesome. One of my favorite tournaments. One of the best atmospheres I can ever remember.
I was so jelly, man. On that moment, I really wish I was Red. I would feel so good.
Yeah. I mean, American fans are great.
Yeah, they are.
I can remember many MLGs where I was like literally emotionally moved by the fan support. But wow, 357 third base. But yeah, Poland,
there are many
Poland's
great
just kind of on another level. I really think Polish fans are the best. No offense to fans anywhere else. Brazilian fans were awesome too. But Poland wins the prize.
I agree. Very interesting placement over here for this first gateway of Nama. No, please do not go in there. The Nama MaNa. But yeah, interesting placement by MaNa over here.
Now I'm going to be off all day. Yeah, it's a cute little wall off. I think he's probably going to maybe put his cyber core in front of that cannon, because that's a bit flimsy.
I'm surprised that he didn't try to just wall off over here. This is like not impossible to wall off, I'd say.
That's a good point. One thing that that kind of bothers me with wall offs like this is it's very susceptible to banelings, because banelings just kind of waddle through there. You can't really attack them because then they blow up your probes, and then lings just stream in and kill your main base.
Maybe MaNa has a plan though. Maybe his wall's not finished yet, and he's gonna try to do something over here. But yeah, I don't like the placement of this gate. I'm just gonna say it.
And maybe MaNa knows. Does MaNa know that that ViBe is gasless? If he might, because here we are at 35 supply. ViBe still has no gas, which means he's not going to be doing a baneling bust. And the other thing is, usually you do a baneling bust off a 2 base, not off a 3. So maybe that makes MaNa.
He never got the confirmation that the hatch is up over here though. He probably saw the drone leaving with his probe early on.
All right.
Pylon up right now for MaNa. MaNa is getting a pretty quick +1 over here on his forge. Chrono boosting warp gate technology as well. I think he's going to get at least a few more gates, probably 3. I think he's going for a little bit of 4 gate pressure off 2 base.
Yep, that's what it looks like to me too. Of course, the real key there is getting a pylon down. We saw in one of our games yesterday. What was that last game? Demaga versus Hasu.
Hasu versus Dima on Daybreak.
Yeah, Hasu tried to get that 4 gate pressure going on Daybreak, and Demaga expertly denied that pylon.
It's so important. If you are playing as a strategy like this against Zerg, it's so super important that you snipe that probe. Because not only do you snipe that probe, you also snipe the few units that are actually on the map. We saw Dima picking up that probe. Then also 2 Stalkers, 3 Zealots. Takes out all the real juice out of that push.
But critically, ViBe is
chasing down
he doesn't see this probe coming out. This could be a big mistake. The probe's about to walk under right past the Zerg. Oh, wow, that's so unfortunate. Lol.
But I mean, it's good for ViBe. He knows it. Ooh, ViBe, you have to get an Overlord. ViBe is supply block, Ben. He's still not starting an Overlord. He might actually end up losing this Overlord as well.
Second pylon goes down, and there's a Stalker there to protect it. I don't think ViBe can deny this.
ViBe is still not building Overlords, man. Just now he's starting.
Oh, come on, ViBe. this is, he's only building 1 Overlord. This is going to make 4 Roaches. Yeah, so I think looks like MaNa's probably going to lose this 1 pylon, maybe. But there's the warp in.
He's not even going to lose this pylon.
Okay, so this is a little bit, this is starting to get a little bit scary, basically. Because these zealots they represent a real threat to this third base. There's a couple of spine crawlers there, so that's pretty good for ViBe. But MaNa has definitely forced a reaction out of our Zerg player.
Yeah, but I mean, MaNa, there are so many ways that MaNa could potentially attack or just be annoying for ViBe. ViBe is making more overlords right now, as you pointed out very wisely, man. 1 overlord was just not enough. Sure, these spine crawlers are pretty cute, but he's still making this so hard on himself.
Yeah, but Stalker's doing a good job of just being annoying, picking away at that hatchery. There's no Zergling speed. I mean, speed's about halfway done.
He's gonna lose that overlord as well. He does make 7 roaches now at once, though, and those 7 roaches should be enough. MaNa should wipe into more units.
Yeah, what is he doing? Okay, there's another warp in. A lot of these lings will go down. Roach is about
pick up those overlords.
About to be done. Once these roaches pop out, it's probably going to be fine. Wow, 14 roaches in the production tab. So finally, with the supply, ViBe able to do some work. Those roaches do pop out. MaNa has to be careful about how he engages this.
Yeah, ViBe as well, though. He cannot afford to lose roaches 1 by 1. He still has 7 roaches on the way. Blink is on the way for MaNa, so MaNa definitely doesn't want to end up losing Stalkers. But that shouldn't be the case. And actually, it starts getting tricky for ViBe. ViBe is going to have to save this hatch right now.
Hatchery's taking a lot of damage, and ViBe just doesn't quite have enough to engage it, especially with his lings having been all picked off. He's only got 3 Zerglings out. Makes those roaches a lot less effective.
Now the real roaches finally come in. A couple of Zerglings stream out as well, so this should be enough to at least keep the hatch alive. But Blink is more than halfway down. Oh, very nice micro here by MaNa. Look at the actually.
Hatch not down yet, and with these lings out, 32 Zerglings, it's going to make it very difficult for MaNa to continue with this aggression, even with Blink.
Very cute Overlord scout over here by ViBe. Not sure. Yeah, he does see the Twilight console, so I hope he's watching.
And MaNa's still just working off 4 gates.
Yeah, interesting.
He needs to start setting up a transition.
ViBe doesn't have any high ground vision. Be careful with those Zerglings, ViBe. That's exactly what he does. And he didn't even have that for the simulator. So MaNa's really committing to this.
+2 feels really late to me. He just now started it, even though Blink's finishing. Not sure what that's all about.
I just feel that he's been putting on so much pressure. That
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
we're gonna see that Blink micro from MaNa. We'll see. Oh, loses a couple Stalkers really fast there, and now we can just see the Zerglings with the Roaches so much more effective than without.
I actually kind of really like the way that MaNa micro that. He just ends up now losing 2 Stalkers. I mean, it always looks more fancy 1 by 1, but I think this kind of made sense, like linking them back in lines, basically.
86 supply against 107 right now, so very, very close still. ViBe doing his best to hold. Going up to Infestors in the midst of this, it's dangerous to invest that much gas in that Infestor tech while you're being attacked, but he's going to go for it.
Yeah, the best thing is that MaNa's been putting on so much pressure on ViBe that ViBe is still on 46 drones, which is not horrific, but it's definitely not good. Like, look at how few drones he actually has in his third base.
Yeah, yeah. There's not a huge economic lead for ViBe right now. That much is certain. Well, it's a huge blink by MaNa. Says, okay, I just don't want to fight right now. But ViBe's mustering more and more of a defense, and his pathogen glands upgrade, like if he starts Infestors now, they're going to pop out with fungals.
Yeah, MaNa's kind of worried, of course, because MaNa doesn't have an observer, guys, so he doesn't know what we know. It's very easy talking hindsight, but he's backing off right now because he's like, alright, if suddenly 3-4 Infestors show up and I lose these Stalkers, I pretty much lose the game. So that's why MaNa is much more careful right now, which maybe looks a bit silly when you could have seen the game, because you think like, MaNa can still pick off 4 or 5 more Roaches, but obviously that's not the way that MaNa sees the game right now.
MaNa is getting a third though, which is nice. Do you think he's going to be able to defend that third though? ViBe's already sitting at a handful of Zerglings.
I think it's going to be more than fine, man. With 46 drones, we saw that yesterday with Dark Force versus Noni. There's only so much pressure you can really do. Okay, that's going to be a scary moment for MaNa, but if he survives that one, it's basically a 3-base all-in, if that makes any sense.
Right, yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense, as those Stalkers do show up just in time to deal with these Zerglings blinking up on top of them. Clean them all up. Nexus takes some damage, but not too much. No big deal. Mostly just shields.
ViBe, realizing that those Stalkers are out of position, instantly takes out these Spinelets, and he's also rallying all these units across the map. MaNa's starting +3, so that's actually nice for ViBe right now, as silly as that sounds, because that's a pretty big investment. MaNa's gonna get cannons as well. He knows that this is gonna get tricky. With good fungals, I think ViBe could do it. 33 Roaches against 27 Blink Stalkers, and also 55 Zerglings. MaNa needs cannons on the low ground, that's for sure.
He's got no cannons.
He does have Force Field though. Force Field is pretty great in this phase of the game.
I don't know if he realizes that Fungal's going to be in this fight though. Need to see some good blinks. Nice Force Fields going down there. Really, really great Force Fields. Those infestors are in the back, dropping a little bit of funk, but none of them being all that effective. And the Stalker's in a great position. They can blink up to that high ground. Look at this beautiful defense by MaNa.
Yeah, this is so well played by MaNa. Those force fields were really, really key. ViBe is actually going to take down this Nexus, though.
Snipes it off.
Yeah, but he's going to lose so many
I
units
don't know
in
if
the
it was
process.
worth it, man. 400 minerals for an army.
Yeah, he's going to lose. Ooh, are these units trapped? No, then not trapped.
Well,
There's a way out, but he's okay. MaNa's actually not chasing, which I'm very
he should
surprised.
have.
Yeah,
30,
I agree.
30 Stalkers to 15 Roaches. That would have been an easy win for MaNa.
And not just that, he would have picked up that Infestor as well, which has a lot of energy, and it's obviously an expensive unit. And ViBe is still so low on drones. As you said, okay, he took out the Nexus, which is okay, but I wouldn't call it a win for ViBe. Great force fields by MaNa once more.
Really, really, really good win. And you can see the difference on the units lost tab. That's really where it comes through. 4,000 resources lost to 6,000 resources lost. That's a big swing when you consider that these guys have been mining the same amount this whole game. They've both got about the same bit of money at their disposal.
MaNa even a little bit more, so the fact that he lost less, that really means a lot. Taking a look at army supply right now, ViBe still does have a small lead, but if we take a look at what it's worth, we see that MaNa's army is clearly way more worth.
Yeah, and ViBe's finally 15 minutes in trying to add in drones, but he's just having a hard time getting enough.
Yeah, and not to forget +3, man.
Oh wow, +3 is finishing.
+3 Stalkers against 0-2 Roaches. I know on which side I want to be. The Roach side, of course.
I knew you were going to say that. ViBe is only 20 supply ahead right now, and he's 20 supply ahead with a Roach-based army, which is probably not going to cut it. MaNa's Robo is finishing up. We'll probably see him start pumping out on Observer first and then some Immortals.
Look at MaNa, man. He's so paranoid. But it's
active.
actually a pretty good read because ViBe is still so... No, actually ViBe did carry out quite a few drones. He's droning up a little bit. So I think MaNa is a bit overdoing it a little bit right now. 6 cannons?
Well, he had a lot of minerals. So
yeah, he did, but...
his gas is pretty low.
Getting some extra gates now as well. Let's take a look. How many gates do you have right now, MaNa?
I'm going straight up to Robotics Bay. I guess he doesn't want to make Immortals. He just wants to get Colossus out. That makes sense too.
He has 5 gates, and yeah, he's a 5 gates Robo. Just kidding. No, 6. Maybe 5.
ViBe has managed to max Kev. The problem here, though, is because he hasn't been working on 80 drones this whole time, he doesn't have a big bank behind it. He'll have one huge punch, but if he doesn't win with it, I'm not sure that he can remax, period.
You need a Burrow and Tunneling clauses are being researched right now, so this would be a very strange moment to attack for ViBe. He's going to do it. Nice force fields again.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's not going to work. Those poor Roaches. What about me? Well,
cute force fields. I mean, he's going to regenerate that energy anyway, so every Roach that he picked up is a good Roach. I always say, man, there's no better Roach than a dead Roach.
Only 20 supply separating these two players. MaNa going to go out and take a 4th base. When he does, he's going to see a ViBe Zergling waiting for him.
ViBe does have a little bit of money right now. Hive is on the way. I think MaNa's being a bit... Yeah. I mean, maybe it's silly to say that he's passive because he was in a good economic position, but he has such a scary army.
Yeah, well,
and he's
he
been mining
did
a
get
lot
couple
more.
of Immortals. I think he just wants to hit that 180 supply, 170 supply mark.
I think what he, I mean, as I mentioned before, it's so hard to often have the best read or have like a super proper read. Since his robotics facility was so late, he never really got a good scout off on all the bases. I think he had no idea that ViBe was only at 44 drones for such a long time.
Yeah.
I think he thought that ViBe maybe was at 52, 55, which makes such a huge difference.
And really, that's where you're supposed to be. The supply blocks, I think, are what did it. ViBe could have had more drones out. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case.
Ooh, now 10 Corruptors are on the way, man. And since MaNa's taking this 4th base, I actually think we're going to see Brood Lords for ViBe. ViBe's going to have to free up some supply, though, but that shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, MaNa is playing so passively. I'm a little bit sad at this point. If he had gotten aggressive after winning that last fight, it would have been very tough for ViBe to muster defense. But now ViBe is maxed out. He's building up some money. He's rounding out his tech.
I must say, by the way, I really enjoy this map. The more I see it, the more I like it.
I'm enjoying it quite a bit this time. Tunneling Claws and Burrow also both done, so these Roaches are going to be a bit more effective this time than they were last time, but effective against Colossi and Immortals.
This is great, by the way, for ViBe, because ViBe all he wants to do right now is lose a few units, not too many, so he could lose a few Roaches. Yeah, that's actually a really cute play. I don't think MaNa saw that. He still sees this big Roach army. If you could force, no, he's not going to be able to force. But as long as he can kill cannons or a pylon or something like that, it's good. Because he needs to free up supply. He has the money for Broodlords and he wants those Broodlords.
Yep, kills those 3 cannons immediately. Now he's going to go to work on whatever's back behind that Nexus. It's not that much, just a Stalker and a couple of probes. Same time, a second wave of attack. Oh, good force fields, but MaNa's Stalkers instead of too close to that. There's some cute Burrow play. MaNa's going to split up that army a little bit better. He is bringing back the Colossi and the Immortals for the brunt of this push.
Don't know where to look. I think he might end up losing the Nexus over here. Yes, he does.
It does fall. Oh man, ViBe has picked off two Nexuses now in this game, so it's starting to look a little better for him. 10 Broodlords coming.
Gonna pick off a couple of stocks as well. Blink is on cooldown. You can pick up those two as well. ViBe. Okay, that's not gonna work. Really, really great multi-prong aggression by ViBe.
Yeah,
super
play.
good job.
Really using that APM that we all know that ViBe is capable of. Now, MaNa, who was in such a great position for so long, is all of a sudden...
I mean, it's gonna kill this hedge, that's okay, but we have 10 Broodlords on the map right now. The only thing I'm a bit worried about for ViBe is that he only has 3 infestors, but he's just when I was about to say that, and he puts 3 more on the production tab, so I like it. He's just a little bit low on gas. Other than that, he's playing really, really good. I don't think MaNa can do it. He has a ton of stalkers. Nice fungal growth right there by ViBe.
That is such a huge fungal. Broodlords are going to manage to pick off a couple of stalkers. Whoa, big offensive blink. MaNa really wants to go for it with Immortals and Colossi in the back. I'm eager to see how it happens. Oh man, all the Broodlords are gone, and the stalkers just going to make their way through everything. MaNa, well, now he's surrounded. But with the Robotech behind it, I think he's got more than enough.
Yeah, I think he has enough too. 66 Zerglings on the way, but there are 3 Colossus, so that's just not going to help out. Once more, really, really nice force field by MaNa. I just felt that ViBe should have had the Roaches more below the Broodlords. They were too exposed in the start.
Yeah, they were a little bit too exposed. I don't think he was expecting that big offensive blink from MaNa.
Neither did I.
Yeah, I thought that was almost suicidal, but it worked out very well from him. Big Zergling counterattack heading towards MaNa's base.
I really like that. Now ViBe has gas again for... Be careful, ViBe. He's losing a lot of Zerglings over there.
Just send the counter, change his mind.
Nice blink right there.
Fungal goes down on some stalkers, but it's really not a big deal. Just some shield damage taken.
Yeah, that's cool, but he needed that fungal to stay alive a little bit longer. Now ViBe is making Roaches again. He could potentially make Broodlords. If he's gonna, I don't think he should try to save this 4th base, because that's a fight that he's not going to be able to win. Once more, I love the force fields of MaNa. I wouldn't go to...
He's going to try to push it. He's not having much luck. Well, now the Roaches are streaming in. Infested Terran's also going to pop. The Immortals are just so good. Colossi not being targeted down at all either. One Colossus finally going to fall. But MaNa still just has a little bit too much for ViBe to deal with. It's 150 supply to 110, and now the Zerg player losing his ability to rebuild.
Yeah, only 1 on a 10 supply left for ViBe. MaNa going for the offensive blink. Careful with that Observer, MaNa. You need that to pick up those burrowed units. That's what he does. ViBe calls GG. MaNa wins the first map on Ohana.
Well played. Gregors?
Yeah, Gregors Kunic. I was looking at the name as well. I was like,
where did that Z come from? Oh man, MaNa the man. Takes down ViBe in the first game.
Really good game though. I really enjoyed it, and I think ViBe played really, really well for a very long amount of time. It's not easy to not take too much damage from those Blink Stalkers. I mean, we said, okay, that one supply block was nasty. He could have had a few more drones, but I loved his multi-prong aggression late game. That was so smart.
I kind of thought ViBe was in an unwinnable position, and then he made it close.
Yeah. I actually think it looked pretty good for him, because that blink that MaNa made, that's a situation where I'm sure that all the Protoss players who are watching right now, we find ourselves so often in that situation. It's either like, okay, do I go for the suicide blink, as we call it, or not? Okay, you blink, you might pick them all off, but you might actually, your stalks might just melt straight away.
Right. He didn't know if there was 3 infestors or 8.
Exactly, and he couldn't really see how many Roaches there were either, and force fields were not actually able to protect the stalkers right on that moment. But yeah, it turned out well for MaNa. He managed to pick off pretty much all the Broodlords before the Roaches were in a really good position. Small mistake by ViBe cost him the game, but I still think he displayed great skill.
That game was brought to you guys by Epson projectors. When you're watching a movie, you should watch it on an Epson projector.
This guy's a good salesman. I like it.
Check out Epson.com/gaming for some great deals on Epson products. We are going to kick it to a very short commercial break, and when we get back, it'll be Game 2, MaNa versus ViBe. Can you say that? The poll? Can you close it out?
I would say just the Polish player.
The Polish player?
Yeah, sounds better.
The Candyman. I'm going to call him the Candyman.
You can do that. Yeah, he loves candy.
Yeah, he does. All right, we'll be back, guys, in just a sec.